Hello YouTube, today we are going to travel to Lorwyn with this look at the pre-constructed team deck, Boggart Feast. It's a tribal goblin deck, red-black, and it's really funny to play because it's always fun to play with goblin, they are crazy. Okay, our first creature here is a Face Vaulter. It's a 1/1 for a single black mana, and as for a single black mana, sacrifice a goblin. Face Vaulter gets +2/+2 until end of turn. We have 3 of this guy. Next is Exiled Bogart. It's a 2/2 for a colorless mana and a black mana. When Exiled Bogart is put into a graveyard from play, discard a card, and we have 2. Next is Squeaking Pie Sneak. It's a 2/2 for a colorless mana and a single black mana. And as an additional cost to play Squeaking Pie Sneak, reveal a goblin card for your hand or pay 3 colorless mana. It has Fear. Next is Boggart Harbinger. It's a 2/1 for a 2 and a black mana. But when Boggart Harbinger comes into play, you may search your library for a goblin card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put the card on top of it. And since this is Lorwyn, we have all those tribal card, sorcery and instant, and we can fetch those or a creature. I think it's very useful, but you can see. And we have 2 of these. Next we have the Ghostly Changeling. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a black. It has Changeling, so this card is every creature type at all time, so we can fetch this with the Boggart Harbinger. And it has 1 and a black mana. Ghostly Changeling gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And we have 2 of these. Next is my favorite card of the team deck. It's Mad Auntie, and I really love her art in this card because it's fantastic. But it's a 2/2 for 2 and a black. It's a Goblin Shaman, or Goblin Shaman. Other goblin you control get +1/+1, and it has a tap ability, regenerate another target goblin. I love her. Next we have Spiderwig Boggart. It's a 2/2 for a 2 and a black, and when Spiderwig Boggart comes into play, target creature gains Fear until end of turn. And this paired with our next card, I think it's great because it's Boggart Mob. It's a 5/5 for 3 and a black, and says champion a goblin. When this comes into play, sacrifice it unless you remove another goblin you control from the grave. When this leaves from the game, when this leaves play, that card returns to play. So we can, we can exile Boggart with Spiderwig Boggart to gain another Fear next turn, although this would be on the field, but we can return it with Mad Auntie if we have in play. And Boggart Mob has also, whenever a goblin you control deals combat damage to a player, you may put a 1/1 black goblin rogue creature token into play. And this card will be our token generator for a lot of things in our deck. We are going to see next. Okay, this is a Marsh Flitter, not really a goblin, but a fairy. It is a 1/1 for 3 and a black. It has flying, and when Marsh Flitter enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 black goblin rogue creature token on the battlefield. These generate tokens too, so it will be it's okay here in this deck. also have sacrifice a goblin, marsh flitter becomes 3/3 until end of turn. This is not great, because if he said it gets +2/+2 or +3/+3 until end of turn, it was great, because you could sack multiple token or other goblin to pump this marsh flitter. Yeah. I mean, it's still okay, I think. Okay, this one is a Hornet Eraser. When Hornet Eraser is put into a graveyard from play, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And it is a 2/2 for a 2 and black. This, if you need to remove another creature, you can sack it for one of the many sack outlets we have in this deck. It's okay. We have 2 of these. Next is Warren Pilferers. It's a 2/3 for a 4 and a black, and it has when Warren Pilferers enter the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If that card is a goblin card, Warren Pilferers gains haste until end of turn. Another taking back from the grave card creature. We can use this for our Hornet Eraser and put it and swing for 3 on the same turn. Here we have Understaff Boggart. It's a 2/1 for a 1 and a red, and as when Understaff Bogart comes into play, clash with an opponent. If you win, put a +1/+1 counter on Understaff Bogart. Each clashing player reveals the top card of his or her library, then puts that card on the top or bottom. A player wins if his or her hand had a higher converted mana cost. Basically, you can scry. You get to scry when this guy comes in, and also your opponent. But if you win, this becomes a 3/2 for a 1 red. I mean, in this deck maybe. I wouldn't use it in another deck, but okay, come on. Okay, here we have a Goat Napper, sorry. It's a 2/2 for a 2 and a red. And when Goat Napper comes into play, untap target goat and gain control of it until end of turn. It gains haste until end of turn. I mean, this is great if you are playing against someone who have goat, which in Lorwyn that could happen, I think. But now it doesn't really have much play. Okay, then we have Mud Button Torch Runner. It's a 1/1 for a 2 and a red, and when Mud Button Torch Runner dies, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. You can basically lightning bolt them if this guy dies. It's a little pricey, I think. Maybe for a 1 and a red, it would have been great. This card, still good. Lowland Oath. It's a 3/3 for 3 and a red, and you can tap it, and target goblin creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. Sacrifice that creature at the end of turn. So basically, with Boggart Mob, you can create token, and with another card that we're going to see in a moment, basically made a great ton of damage. Then we have a Tar Pitcher. It's a 2/2 for a 3 and a red. You can tap it and sacrifice a goblin. Tar Pitcher deals 2 damage to target creature or player. With this you can shock, and also made an additional damage with another card that we are going to see very soon, which I really like. Especially in this deck, it is a very good synergy with the goblin. Okay, next is a Boggart Birthright. It's a sorcery, it's a tribal sorcery goblin, so you can pull this from your graveyard with sorry, not from your graveyard, from your deck with the Boggart Harbinger. But with this card you can return another tribal sorcery, tribal enchantment, tribal instant, and not only creature, because it says target goblin card. I think it's very great, this card. I like it a lot. In a goblin deck, it's amazing. Okay, this is a fodder launch for 3 and a black. Again, this is a tribal sorcery. As an additional cost to play fodder launch, sacrifice a goblin. Target creature gets -5 until end of turn. Fodder launch deals 5 damage to that creature's controller. It's a little bit pricey, but I mean, you can maybe kill a creature and deal 5 damage to its owner. I like. Hoarder's Greed. It's a 3 and a black for a sorcery. You lose 2 life and draw 2 cards. Then clash with an opponent. If you win, repeat this process. Yeah, never used it. But I mean, if you need it. Starfire. Basically, it's shock, only a little bit better in this deck, because with the Boggart Birthright we can return it from the grave and use it again. And this is one of my favorite non-creature spell from this deck. It's a Boggart Shenanigans. It's an enchantment, tribal enchantment for a 2 and a red, and it says whenever another goblin you control is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, you may have Boggart Shenanigans deal 1 damage to target player. I mean, it's great because with all this sacking we have going on with Tar Pitcher, Mad Baton Torch Runner, Lowland Oath, Hornet Eraser, and who else? Marsh Fleet. You can deal additional damage only by killing your stuff. It's great, really great. And then we have 12 Swamp, although in I have 13 Swamp, and I don't know if it's because I have this foil Swamp that came in the team deck. I don't know if it's normal. If anyone knows, let me know, please. So we have 13 Swamp here because of the additional one. I love the art in this. Then 10 Mountain. And then we have 2 Shimmering Grotto. You can tap it for and add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or for 1 and tap it, you can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's not that great for mana fixing, but if you have a lot of land, you need that precise color. It's okay. I hope you liked it, and see you soon. Bye bye.